Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to the Jen Marples Show. We have a great show today. It's just me. You've got me, but we are going to talk about you and I. We are going to talk about how to become the leading lady in your own life. You heard it here first. You are going to learn how to become the leading lady in your own life. And it's really interesting because somebody new just came into my world today on Instagram. I had a whole different topic planned for this solo podcast. And this gal, I'm going to give her a shout out. Her name is Karen Geiger. She goes by the handle The Joy of Story. And she looks to be like a book coach. And she left this amazing comment on one of my posts. I'm going to read it to you in its entirety because it has inspired everything I want to talk to you about today. So let me read this first, and then we're going to get into it. So listen up to this. It's our time to be the main character, have protagonist energy, and watch our arc change. So I love this. I've talked about leading lady energy before, and I love that she brought this up. So shout out again to Karen Geiger, The Joy of Story. And I was like, we're going to take this and we're going to run with it today, ladies. We're going to run with this. How we become how we become the leading lady in our own lives. And so we're just going to play on this whole thing. There's all these award shows going on too, and I'm watching all the Demi Moore speeches and everything, getting really pumped up and fired up. But let's talk about what it means and how you can step into that leading lady energy. And it can be hard. I mean, I want to say like all of last year, all of 2024, I was in like the chorus or the cast or what is the atmosphere? That's what they call it, atmosphere. The unpaid people in the background, the atmosphere. I felt like that was my energy last year because just of a lot of personal things I was going through. We started off all of 2024, my year that year rather, with my mom having a heart attack. And I shared with you before that there's just a lot going on. And so our leading lady energy can ebb and flow. It can ebb and flow by years, it can ebb and flow by hours of the day. But just reading what she wrote and just kind of where I am right now and what last year was, and I know it's rough. We're in midlife. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and things are going to try to take away your leading, and circumstances are going to try to take away your leading lady energy. And so really you just need to know that it's time to be the main character in our own lives, the main protagonist, the main character, because we have spent our whole lives taking care of others and we've been put to the side or we put ourselves on the side by ourselves because we're like, we're not deserving. Does anybody want to hear me? I'm scared. What if I fail? You said all these things to yourselves, and it's our inner critic. And so what I want to explore with you today on this short and sweet yet powerful episode is, what do you have to shed? What do you have to shed right now to become the leading lady, main character in your own life? And again, shout out to our new friend, Karen Geiger, follow her at The Joy of Story, for making a comment today, which just really put me on this path to have this discussion. So what is it going to take? Like, what do you have to say no to? What do you have to shed? Who do you have to become? First of all, I need you to know this little hack here. When you step into this leading lady energy and you step into who you are, newsflash, it's who you've always been. It's just somebody you haven't given yourself permission yet to be. I'm going to say that again. When we're stepping into our leading lady energy, it's the energy and the person we've always been. We just haven't given ourselves permission to be her. And so that ends now. That ends now. I'm going to do a little sidebar here. It's not a sidebar. It connects to this story. I was asking my mom, we were looking through some old photos, and I was trying to find a picture of myself because I'm going to do this challenge on LinkedIn, which was a note, having conversation with your younger self. I've yet to do it. But, of course, I got on the phone with my mom. We spent an hour and a half looking at old photos. She was in Hawaii looking through her archives, the boxes of photos, was sending me photos. I was going through photos here. And I found a great one of me wearing my Grease t-shirt in my roller skates. We were on vacation in Florida seeing my grandparents. And I sort of remember that feeling and that vibe. And God, did I love that t-shirt. And God, did I love that movie. Oh, did you guys have those t-shirts? It was in my, just because you'll all appreciate this because we're all, midlife. The screen printed photo on the front was the Go Grease Lightning. They're singing that in the car shop. Okay, total aside. But that photo, what it represented was freedom. It represented who I was. I feel it was very important to me to find a photo that wasn't too young and then not too old, like going into the teen years. So this is very much pre-teen years, because this is the point where most of us think we're the leading ladies, know we're the leading ladies, and then society starts taking its hold on us and starts throwing us the negative messages. It could be negative messages from parents. It could be a friend, like, who are you to shine bright? Who are you to do that thing? Like, sit down, don't raise your hand, don't answer that question, don't be too smart. We all, if we think about it, we could probably all rewind back to a time or to an exact experience that snuffed out our light. It snuffed out that leading lady energy. So, I think of that girl, and I will, please follow me everywhere. I'm going to post this thing. I was challenged. I'm going to be posting this on LinkedIn soon, this note to my younger self. But it really ties into what I want to talk to you all about today, because we tend to lose our light. It gets kind of, it's really kind of sad, but it's true. It gets dimmed throughout the years with people saying no, being rejected. In the case of me, and it's very hard to say this, my father is still alive, but I very much thought when I came running into the door, and I used to call myself Jenny the Best, don't ask me why. I had a little donut charm that said the best on it. And I used to run into the house going, hey, Jenny the Best is here. And I distinctly remember that not being okay with my dad. And having that be, all of a sudden the light starts to get tamped down. And that all I could think of was that he didn't like me, and that, that my personality irritated him. Now, I know probably a lot of you listening have had that. It could have been a teacher, it could have been an old partner, an old spouse, an old best friend, or even somebody just saying something really cruel. We've all experienced something like that. And so, it's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault that we tamp ourselves down and we lose connection to those little girls that we were, for the most part, that used to have that light. And then slowly but surely, society, parents, spouses, friends chip away at it. And we have to actively fight to get it back. We've got to fight to get it back. So I'm like, I'm done. So I'm in this like reflective phase, and I really want to share this with you, because I know with a lot of, there's the IFS therapy, you really kind of go back and you talk to your inner child, and you kind of reconcile. There's something, that's happened to all of us. I'm not a therapist, sidebar, I'm not a therapist. I am not Dr. Marples. So please, if you need to explore this, go find actual 100% qualified people to like dig into this. So I'm just kind of reporting like what I see and things that I've taken in from people who do this for a living. That really helps to kind of talk to your inner child and be kind to her, because guess what? And I see this with so many of you, and myself included, like we would never talk to ourselves, or we would talk to ourselves rather, we would never talk to our children or our best friends or any other person the way we talk to ourselves. We would never say, don't go for your dreams. Stop it. Don't be too big for your britches. Like, I know I would never do that to one of my kids. Like, could I say that? Would I say that to one of my girls? Oh my God, it makes me cry thinking about the impact that could have on my child or my children. So we've got to kind of go back and shower that young girl with love and go, okay, life threw you some shit. Like, let's unpack it. We're going to get rid of it. And we're going to step back into our freaking light, people. We're going to step back into our light. So like part of this discussion here today is like, who do you have to shed? So for me, it's the little girl who thought she wasn't good enough, who thought her father didn't like her. And this might come as a shock to you. I was actually having this conversation with some dear friends over the holidays. And because, it's not just dinner party conversation or something you want to bring up. Hey, remember this time? Like, let's talk about our childhoods. But because for all, and this is why we should never judge a book by its cover, never assume you know anything about anybody's life, because people are always shocked because I present like I'm bubbly and I'm happy for everyone, and I'm truly like to my core. I think you know this by now. I'm like your biggest cheerleader. I get so excited by seeing you all doing the damn thing and saying, Jen, I'm going to YNTFO and do this thing. And luckily, by the grace of God, I didn't let that dim my light. And I realized later, therapy, coaching, training, that I actually had the exact right parents that I needed to do my work in the world. So, and I'm very highly sensitive. I'm very empathic. I can feel energy. I can feel all that. So somehow, like I said, by the grace of God, I got spit out and kept being positive. So I don't talk about it a lot. So I was having this conversation over Christmas, and my girlfriends were just, their jaws were dropping. And I said, I guess I just don't talk about this. And so I'm sharing this with you because you're not alone. I know everybody has something. There's something that's making you not step up into that main character energy. I did a lot of work. I've been seeing my therapist for 20 years. I really dealt with my father's stuff when I started to go through fertility treatments and try to get pregnant. And all this stuff came up. I didn't know it was going to come up, and it came up. And I've explored it and therapied about it and journaled and burned things in effigy and spoken to my dad, like, we're fine now. But it took a really long time. Like, I was 45 years old. I'm 55 now, before I ever had the talk with my dad. And so the beautiful thing, and if you guys have listened to the podcast, that's really truly that one a couple of weeks ago with my friends Shireen and Heno Beva for long, Heno for short, that really touched a nerve with a lot of you. And it's just in this whole same realm of it's not we're all going to experience pain and something dimming our light. It's how we navigate through it. It's how we make amends with something. Because if we sit and stew and think about, oh, somebody's wronged me and this and that, I'm not the leading lady because X, Y, and Z, nobody wins. And all we end up doing is becoming sick and depressed, and we don't get to express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves. So seek help if you need it, and figure out what's holding you back. And it could just be something small, but you know what? These small things, they add up. They really, truly add up. So today is about giving yourself permission to step into the spotlight and be the leading lady. So go back in time and talk to that young girl and say, I see you. I see who you were. You're still me. You're still me. When I actually interviewed Judy Holler, she was Judy Booty. And if you listen to that episode, I talked about Jenny the Best there. And so, like, I'm going to bring back Jenny the Best. And that was the girl who gave no fucks, who ran into the room, was like, I'm here. Jenny the Best is here. And I was here to have fun and like to gather friends. And, I was a Girl Scout. I was a camp counselor. I was all those things. And I loved doing every one of those things. And I'm basically still a Girl Scout and a camp counselor, I think now, because I still love bringing everybody together. So let's give ourselves permission to be the leading lady. We're not going to be the antagonist, which is the crazy person on the side. It could be that crazy best friend. It could be the psycho down the street. Like, we're done with that. So we're going to get rid of that. We're not going to be that. No, ma'am. Remember in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion? I can't remember the whole name of that movie, but when I was thinking about this podcast, I was thinking about how they were going, and they're lining the whole thing with Post-it notes, and then there were some CEOs and they were dressing. I mean, that movie is so hysterical. I haven't thought about it in a long time, but I remember when they got into their huge fight about, I'm the Mary. No, I'm the Mary, because Mary was the leading lady, and somebody had to be Rhoda, because this was a Mary Tyler Moore show. I guess Mary Tyler Moore, 70s, 80s. But I used to watch it growing up, and so it was hysterical, because that's the thing. Like, we're all Marys. We're not the Rhodas, even though Rhoda was an amazing character. I just remember them fighting. And so we're on this whole movie thing and leading ladies and all of this and stepping into the spotlight. And so I'm rolling with these movie things just to kind of like bring this in. So just think of that movie, like, I'm the Mary. I think they were like fast forwarding into their future life, not friends, still screaming at each other that each other was the Mary. Guess what? Everybody gets to be the Mary. It doesn't have to be either or. So we're all going to be the Mary. So we are going to give ourselves permission. We are going to know that it's time. You're going to know that you're the Mary. You are the leading lady. You are the leading lady in your life. We've all been playing those supporting roles, right? The supporting role of mother, the supporting role of maybe spouse, the supporting role of caregiver. Like, we could still have some of these different roles. Obviously, we can't get rid of it, but it's absolutely time and critical that we put ourselves first and give ourselves permission to be the freaking superstar. Because guess what? We have half our lives left. And the same gal who wrote to me and who inspired this whole thing, Karen, she said her grandma's 105. So let's take that energy with us today, ladies. So 105, I cannot do the math right now of how many years I have left. If there's a grandma who's 105, because I was an English major, I don't do math. So we're not going to do math. But I really want you just to all contemplate and just think, like, what do you have to let go of to finally give yourself permission to be the leading lady in your own life? I wrote this one funny thing down because we're on the whole movie thing. So if you are in a situation, and it could be a longer situation, if it's something with a parent, maybe you are dealing with something personally, just remember Cosmo in Moonlight. We're just fully going in with movies today, guys. Everything is temporary. Just remember, this is one of my favorite movies. I know all the lines. So memories like everything is temporary. I love Moonlight. So just remember, everything is temporary. Okay? Everything is temporary. And I'm going to say this other quote too, because we are just going to roll with movie quotes. Everybody channels Sigourney Weaver in Working Girl. She gives this line. One day I'm going to have Katie Kirk on this podcast. I'm saying it out loud because she has said Working Girl is one of her favorite movies, and it's certainly one of mine, and I know all the lines. So when she was talking about, she was thinking she was going to be getting engaged to Harrison Ford. Tess McGill, who's played by Melanie Griffith, goes like, basically like, well, what do you think? Like, how do you know? She's like, well, I've cleared the month of June. Well, I've indicated I'm receptive to an offer. I've cleared the month of June, and I am, after all, me. It's the best line in a movie ever. So just channel all these people that I'm telling you about right now. Just be like, I am, after all, me. And let's not all take it so serious. Let's not all take it so serious. Go watch, this is your homework. Go watch Moonstruck and go watch Working Girl, and then message me somewhere on social media or send me an email. Let me know what you think. And I want you to channel, and also I want you to channel Tess McGill, because she, kind of goes from being cast aside to being literally on the side to stepping into leading lady roles. And Sigourney Weaver, who turned out to be evil, she got her comeuppance. But watch those movies, please. So what are we going to do, y'all? We're going to become the leading ladies of our own lives, and we're going to claim it, and you're going to step into the spotlight. You're not going to be playing second fiddle. No more crazy, the girl on the side who, nobody thinks is cute, but like is really cute, but the movie made us think she's not cute. We all know, like, the best friend. We're not the best friend anymore. We're the leading lady. And that is my long-winded pep talk for y'all today. And I hope you decide to do it. And I want you to watch those movies, and I want you to report back. Because guess what? Sometimes I can get really serious, but you know me, I go back and forth. I can't stay in serious for too freaking long. We have to actually start laughing about some stuff and have positivity. So go watch those two movies. I'm going to link them in the show notes just so you don't forget what they are. And I want to talk to you before I wrap up. There's a couple things happening that you need to know about that are really exciting. First of all, I need your help with something. I am doing my first ever listener community survey. So I want to get your feedback. I need your feedback because I am in planning mode for the next literally few years of things I'm wanting to do. And I want to make sure there are things in there that you want and need. I want to get feedback on this podcast. I want to know if you want to hear from some different guests. I want to know if you want events. I want to know exactly where you live. I have some of that information, but I want to know as I plan events, and I'm looking at doing some things across the country. I'm doing some virtual events too. I want information from you so I can best serve you going into this year and beyond. And so you can find the link to the survey in the show notes. When you're listening to this, the survey will close March 7th. So please take the survey for me, please. It will really help me so much. And it's all private. You don't need to add your name in there. It's cloaked. So you can be free and open and give honest feedback, because that's really what I want. Thank you very much. And you will all be entered to win a host of a couple different prizes. There'll be some sessions with me, and you will also have access to some new merch that I'm testing out. So YNTFO merch is going to be coming out. I'm going to be dropping a couple little fun things. So when you take the survey, you will be put into a drawing. And so the survey is separated from you actually putting your name into a drawing. So I will have no idea what you said in the survey, and that you can go in, put your name in the drawing to win sessions with me and some fun merch and some cool other things. So I want it to be to make it worth your while. And I just want to do everything, as you know, to really support you in the best way I can. And the best way is for you to tell me all what you need help with and what you want to see, and we will make it happen. All right. So that's that. And then if you're listening to this in real time, there's a bunch of events happening in March. So if you click the link in my show notes, there is a March 6th event being put on by the Stronger Collective in San Francisco. And it is all about sort of dealing with stress and anxiety. I'm not speaking there or anything. It's just the women, Joy and Kim, who run the Stronger Collective, are doing a really great job putting these events together. So you're going to see a lot more of me promoting other people's events, just because I want to give everybody more options to get together in real life, because I can't have 1,000 events. So let's go to other people's events and have some fun there and meet up and be in community together, because I know 100% for sure, without you even answering the survey, we want to be together. This I know for sure. Okay, so there's a March 6th event at the Canopy in San Francisco put on by the Stronger Collective about stress and anxiety. And there is a code, YNTFO, gets you 20% off. So link in the show notes for that. There is also another event coming up. Shama Bunton, who was a guest on this podcast, she's putting together the Women in Wealth Catalyst Summit. That is March 28th in San Francisco. I'm sorry, everything I'm saying is in San Francisco in the Bay Area. Like I said, I am going to be coming to towns near you to do some fun things in the future. So I need to know where you live. So take the survey. So Shama's event is March 28th. And I have a code for that too. It's Shama25 for 25% off. And if you listened to her podcast episode with me, it was about getting rich together. So that's a great event if you're into wealth building and want to network with some really amazing women. Again, check the link in show notes. And finally, March 29th is another Strong Her Collective event featuring Tamsin Fadal, who is coming out with a book, How to Menopause. I'm going to be sitting on a panel with Tamsin and some other fabulous women and doctors. That is March 29th. That's going to be at the Battery in San Francisco. Again, sorry, San Francisco, but I will come your way soon. Code YNTFO for a 20% discount. And later that day, there's a free event at Book Passage in Corte Madera. And I will also be sitting on that panel with Tamsin and I believe Joanna from MIDI Health. And that is free. And that will be on the later part of March 29th. Again, all that's in the show notes, and make sure you are also signed up for my newsletter, because like I said, I'm going to be sending out all of these events more regularly in an effort to get us all together. So it's not only going to be my event or if I'm speaking somewhere, but I want to highlight other women putting on amazing events here and other places so we can all gather and meet, because this is the way we're all going to succeed and really live a happy, fulfilling life, as if that we're all together in community. So that is what I've got for you. So, I would just, my final kind of note, because someone wrote to me the other day, I was doing a live with Julie Gordon White from Menowell, and she was saying, like, how do I meet people? And this is the way you meet people, because I know meeting friends later in life can be tough. So come to these events. So get on my newsletter list so you can see when events are. Get out of your comfort zone, walk in that room, and know you're going to meet the most incredible women. You can meet your new best friend, you can meet your new business partner, you could meet a new client, whatever. Just open your mind to the best possible scenario, and that's what's going to happen. So get on the list, come to my events, come to their events, and we're going to see each other. And 2025 is going to be the year of all of us gathering and just loving on each other and getting into each other's lives and supporting each other, because that's the thing. And we're going into Women's History Month, and International Women's Day is coming up. So stay tuned. So, ladies, my leading ladies, my starring role ladies, you are fabulous. You are loved. You are incredible and amazing. So give yourself permission right now to step into the spotlight and become the leading lady in your own life. I got you. We got you. Come to some of these events, and I hope to see you soon. Love you madly. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.